Hello there, and welcome to episode 4 of our Fit for Success podcast. My name is Kristen Nolan, also known as the High Performance Health Mentor. And our Fit for Success podcast is designed for busy entrepreneurs and executives who need to keep their body healthy and energized on a limited time budget. With each podcast, I interview different powerhouse women and men who are making the effort to keep their bodies in shape so they can stay on top of their mental and physical game. And today I'm so excited because I'm interviewing the founder and CEO of Wants. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Marge Piccini, the CEO and founder of Profit More, Prospect Less. With over $1 billion in sales, an award-winning career and Fortune 100 company and successful entrepreneurial ventures to her credit, Marge is not your average success coach. Named the queen of quantum leaps by her clients, extreme growth and rapid transformation is what she is known for. Entrepreneurs and sales professionals intent on boosting their sales quickly seek her out for her expertise. Her proprietary 5-step Profit More and Prospect Less formula helps them to double their sales without burning out, saving them the time and the energy needed to live a healthy, happy, and a balanced life. Marge believes that accomplishment and fulfillment are not mutually exclusive and that you deserve both. That is why she is here today. Marge is the founder and leader facilitator of Profit More and Prospect Less Sales Leadership Retreat and a popular Inspire. Her podcast, Profit More and Prospect Less, is launching in February of 2017. So that's amazing. You'll be able to learn way more about Marge in that time. She's co-author of Incredible Business, Expert Advice to Accelerate Your Success, and author of Profit More and Prospect Less, Double Your Sales Without Burning Out. Marge believes there's a fortune inside every person. It's not just in some people. It's in everyone, and she's discovered the tools to unearth it, dust it off, and give it flight, helping her clients soar to levels they never thought possible. So let me bring Marge in here and welcome her into this podcast. Marge, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kristen. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you. This is going to be amazing. So I want you to not miss a beat here. I want to know, can you please tell us, our audience, a little bit about your background and some of the work that you are doing right now?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So I learned when I was 12 years old that I was really good in sales. I didn't get the 10-speed bike that I wanted for Christmas, and my parents wouldn't get it for me either. So I had to figure out a way to get my 10-speed bike. So I traded in my summer vacation for knocking on the doors of complete strangers, selling personalized holiday cards in July.
Oh my God! Wow.
And I sold 164 boxes to win the grand prize, which was my shiny yellow 10-speed bike with the black seat and the black handlebars.
Oh.
So I learned, isn't that cool? I learned two really important things that summer. And the first was I was really good in sales. But the second was that if there's anything that you want to do in your life, you have the power to make it happen. If there's a will, there's a way. And that has been my mantra ever since.
Oh my God, I love that.
Isn't that cool? So,
Yeah.
but I didn't go out seeking a sales position. I, landed in banking, and then one day, senior VPs came in and closed my department. And just an hour before that, someone came in and handed me an advertisement from a local newspaper, the Classified, saying, I heard a lot about you. I have an opening. Come interview. And so an hour later, I had the opportunity to do that. because my
Oh,
department was completely closed. So that was really
wow.
cool. And I was the youngest salesperson ever in the company. And I was the #2 sales producer in the state of Connecticut, which was pretty cool. Pretty
Oh,
cool. And then from there, I just, just kept it going and going and going. And I realized that sales, a position in sales is not about, the hard sell or any of the negative stereotypes about sales that I'd heard about when I was
mhm.
growing up. That it was
Yeah.
completely different. And from the very beginning, I adopted a service and consultative mindset and approach to my business. And that has served me incredibly well. So I was at the point with a Fortune 100 company where I ranked in the top 10% of my industry nationwide. But I wanted to go further. So there were other people in my company that were doing, they were in the top 5%. I was in the top 10%. And these people were also in the state of Connecticut. So I knew the potential was there because they were already experiencing that. So I wanted what they had, is what it came down to. So I went to all the top sales managers and I said, look, this is what I want to do, and I want to do it quick, and I want to do it easy. What's the best way for me to do it? And they all had the same advice.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it. I really thought it was going to be more innovative. So they said, well, if you want to get there, then you need to triple your efforts. If you want to get double, then you need to triple. And I thought, that would exhaust me. I would die. Like I could not do that. How could I possibly do that? It just wasn't possible. So,
Right.
so I did what any smart person would do. I took a couple days off. And I thought about it. I thought, there's got to be a way to do this. There's got to be an easier way than the way they're proposing. And
Right.
in those 2 days, I was deeply introspective and came up with a plan. And I went back to those sales managers and said, hey, what do you think of this? And they all said, Marge, you're crazy. If you do that, you are going to be committing business suicide. And
Really?
oh, really? And I thought, you know what? I'm feeling this in my gut. I just feel that this is the right way to go. What do I have to lose? I'm the one who loses, right? Not them. So I'm going to give it a shot. So, I really believed in myself. And within 2 years, Kristen, I doubled my production.
What?
I got into the top 5% of my industry. And check this out. This is the best part. I reduced my work hours by 25% at the same time.
Oh
Isn't that
my.
incredible? Hmm.
Okay, so what did those sales managers say to you when that was your outcome?
Well, they all wanted to know what I did. What's your secret? How did you do that?
You're
and it
like,
wasn't rock and it wasn't rocket science, it was just it was just really getting clear on some really important things and making some really hard decisions. So it's easy, to follow the pack and, follow the people who been gone before you and experienced incredible success. And it's something altogether different to say, you know what, that got me here, but it's not going to get me there.
right,
So what how can I do this different? And just having the strength and the commitment to self in order to be able to do that is a very difficult thing to do. That's
hmm,
why most people don't do it. Yeah.
great. No, it's absolutely true. But I think
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying here is just so valuable for people who have a feeling, a really good feeling. I think so many people just don't know how to trust their intuition anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got a whole big group of people who are, in your example, they were, quote unquote, higher up than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Top
Mm-hmm.
5%, you wanted to be there. They're all saying,
Yep.
do it this way. And you're like, no, guys, I really have a feeling that it's got to be easier than this. And I trust my gut. I mean, that's just a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. So many people lose touch with that intuition.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think really gave you the strength to follow it in that time that was so challenging?
It was this, I guess, the strength um, of that gut feeling that I had. It was undeniable. I mean, that's how strong it was. It was undeniable. And this is the other thing. I was willing to take the risk.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And I figured I'm gambling on myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
who better to gamble on than yourself?
Right. Yeah, because you know that if something goes off, you're going to tweak it, you're going to
Hmm.
figure it out, right? You
Right,
trust yourself
right.
to follow through. That's
Exactly. Yeah,
huge. I love
yeah.
that. You know,
Thank you.
part of what I think makes you so unique is your emphasis on balance, on having this work-life balance, and it's really non-negotiable for you.
Yeah.
Um, I would love you to talk a little bit about how you make that work so well.
Well,
Because
I'll tell you a little bit about how it came to be, and then I'll lead into uh, answering your question. So what happened was, so I reached that top 5%, and yeah, I'm in the club, right? And it was awesome. It was amazing. And then some things started to shift in my former industry. And so I decided that it was time for me to get out and to go out on my own. So I did. I started my own company, and oh my gosh, it was wildly successful from the very beginning. And so here we are. It's like 2.5 years into it. And, you know, as a business owner, this is my first time as a business owner, and you're doing everything,
yeah,
and everything, you just take total ownership of everything because it's your baby. And
mm,
and that's what I did. And I ended up not even realizing it, but I was hospitalized for 11 days. Wake up
whoa,
call number one, right?
whoa,
I was given my prescription when I left the hospital was 6 weeks of relaxation. You can go back to work part time after 4 weeks.
oh my
And
God,
I know, and 2 days later, my husband gets sick because he was my partner in my business. So he was handling everything for the 11 days, but it was really my business that he was helping me with. So for him to be in that lead role was a really stressful thing for him. So he was then in the hospital 2 days later. I had 2 days of rest and relaxation. And then
wow,
he was in the hospital for 23 days. So not only did I
oh,
have going through my own recovery, right, health recovery, I had to take over my business,
right,
take over my family, and be sure that he was
and
being
your husband,
properly cared for and supported in the hospital. It was insane. So,
right, because you also have kids.
yeah, I
You're
have
a
two
mom.
children. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, it was crazy.
God,
So,
gorgeous kid.
thank you. Thank you. So anyway, what happened was a friend of mine called from the south of France and said, Marge, I need you. Can you come? So of course I did. You're going to be there for a friend in a heartbeat. So I needed a vacation. So I decided to leave. And I neglected, I think that this was divine intervention. I neglected to pack my phone charger. And so here I was in the south of France without a cell phone. And so guess what? I got my vacation because everyone had to handle things because I couldn't communicate with them. So that was pretty cool. But what was
Was that a
interesting
universal
is,
sign?
yeah, oh, it was divinely, uh, uh, what do I want to say, divinely inspired, I guess. And
Yeah.
so what ended up happening was that I realized that week how crazy my life was, how
Mm,
stressful my life was. And I decided that I didn't want it anymore. There were a lot of aspects of my life that I didn't want anymore, that I wanted to change. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted in its place, but I knew that it was very different from the way I was moving through the world at that point.
right.
And miraculously, really, the very last day I was there, this vision popped into my head that shook me to my core. And it was me standing on a big stage, engaging and inspiring thousands of people. And I gasped. I literally gasped and jumped. And my friend Julie said to me, what's wrong? I said, oh my gosh, Julie, you are not going to believe this vision that just popped in my head. She's like, why? You know, what could be so bad? And I said, oh my gosh, Julie, I was standing on a big stage inspiring and engaging thousands of people. And she said, Marge, I can see that. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Now, Kristen, at this point in time, I was comfortable speaking to enough people to fit around a conference table. So 10, 12 people, that was it. But my palms were still sweaty and, you know, my throat was dry and all of that. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Right.
But this is why, because this thought popped in. What could I possibly have to say that would matter? I didn't know that then. And Julie looked at me, and she was 25 years old at the time, which is incredible, and she's a photographer. And she said to me, Marge, look at this landscape. It was magnificent. We were in the Mediterranean town of Cassis, sitting on a seawall.
Oh, beautiful.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And she said, Marge, look at this landscape. Do you know how many photographers have stood here and photographed this same view? Well, not one of those photographs looks the same. What an artist does is to take the ordinary and imprint it with their personality to create something extraordinary. You don't need to know what you're saying, and it doesn't have to be something brand new. You're just going to say it in the way that you know how to say it. And in that moment, she gave me permission to not push that away. Because my MO would have been push it away, not possible, forget about it, not me, right?
Wow.
So I held on to that. And every day, it was like every single day after I got back, the opportunity presented itself for me to start stepping into that vision. It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. So
you're very good at paying attention to those universal nudges.
Yes,
Right.
thank you. Well, you know, I was hospitalized for 11 days.
Right.
And, you know, I got that message loud and clear. And then, you know, I decided that I wanted to change my life. So, and I turned it over. I turned it over to the universe and said, drive me. You know, this is what I've created driving myself. So I need you to help drive me from this point forward. And that's what I decided to do. So I'm there in Cassis and I'm saying, okay, so if I don't want this, what do I want instead? And what does that look like? How do I do that? And I thought, you know, I must have a purpose. You know, there's got to be like a bigger purpose that I'm here to fulfill. Wouldn't it be cool if I could find that and then match my business development skills to it? So that then is what I set out to do and is the basis of my Profit More Prospect Less business. So I start off with, you know, here are the ways that I doubled my sales without burning out, you know, that I did in corporate America. And now you can do that too. And now we can take a look at rebuilding your business or rebuilding your sales in this whole new way. And it is, you know, once you start doing work that is your work to do, your unique work, leaving your unique impression and imprint with the people that you serve and, you know, the world at large, then everything shifts for you. It's really incredible. And, you know, the universe steps in to help support you in doing that. But being really clear on what that is, how you want to experience it, and making that happen is what I help my clients to do.
Amazing. And so it sounds like a lot of the reason that you kind of need things to be easier in your life, and you want to go with the flow and follow that path and go with your heart, land of pushing a little bit, it sounds like, is when you first had your business, you were doing.
Yeah.
You went in the hospital and you're like, okay, this can't happen again.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to follow my heart. Can you, because I know that Karen Hines was listening and she was really interested in learning some of those secrets. What are some of those little tidbits or secrets or hints that you could give our audience that made things easier for you? And
Kristen, I'm sorry, your audio just checked out. I did not hear that last question. I'm sorry.
oh no, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So my question is, because I know Karen is watching, it looks like we've had Ann Dickinson joined us, Aaron Acton joined us. I want to say hello to you all.
Hey, everyone.
And Karen asked a very juicy question. She was like, oh my gosh, amazing accomplishment. She wants to know the secrets of how you prospect less and profit more. I know I said that out of order. What are some tips that you can give our audience on how you've made that happen with more ease and more flow into your life? And I know it wasn't a choice for you, so how did you make that happen?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So the first step is to really take a look at your business, but take a look at it from a different perspective. Well, so first is take a look at it from the traditional perspective, which is, okay, who am I doing the most business with, and, approaching it from that perspective. But then the second is taking a look at those people that you do business with and deciding which of those people you loved doing business with. Because there are a lot of people that we tend to do business with that we don't necessarily love doing business with. And so when I looked at my client base, I thought, okay, well, these are the people that I love doing business with. And these people are people that were referred by people that I love doing business with. And the ones that I didn't love doing business with, I call them PITAs. Pain in the, you know what? Yeah. So the PITAs, there are people, they just take up more of your time, more of your energy. You don't get the energy back from them that you give out.
So that's a key point, Marge, really quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pause there because that's huge what you just said.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not getting the energy back from the client that you are giving them. So there's no balance there.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so I looked at them, and then once I had them separated, then it was easier to see who was really in this group of people that I love doing business with. So I could get, much more narrow, with them, and get much more clear about who they are. And it was the same when I was working for the Fortune 100 company, same as when I had my first business, and now in this business, where my ideal clientele are the same people. They are people that are, they're drivers. They are driven. They are mavericks. So they're outside the box people. They're racehorses. So they're not just driven, but, they go so fast because they are self-supporting, or they are a primary income earner in their family. So failure is not an option, and they have to get from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. So, not just 60, but 100. So, yeah. And they're people who, if they work for someone else, they're a managing partner or they're the owner. And they're people who view what they're doing as their contribution in the world. So they're doing it through their work.
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty incredible. And so once I was able to get really clear about that, then I knew that the dabblers are not my clientele. They don't get me. I push them way too hard. And, they don't, they prefer to go at their own pace. So, and, people that are just not really serious about what it is that they do. It's just a job for them. That's the way they're looking at it. Or um, they are in business for themselves, but they see themselves more as creating a job for themselves as opposed to creating a business and making a lasting contribution. So that I was able to see, and then I decided, okay, I want a whole lot more of these, and I don't want these other people over here.
Right.
So step number 3 is the hardest, and that is saying no to those other people, saying
Mm-hmm.
no to the pitas. And I would let them know that I wish I could help you. I just don't have the room in my practice right now, and I'll make a referral to you. So, I was able to get rid of them. And then what happens is you're drawing a distinct line. And when you do that, you demonstrate that, then energetically, you're putting that out there that this is my line, these are my people, I want them to fit into this, I don't want this, so don't send me these. And
Mm-hmm.
then they stop coming. They just stop coming. And so when I started this, when I was at the Fortune 100 company, I had 34 business referral partners. Sales managers wanted me to go to 100, right? Triple.
Yeah.
And after I went through this sorting process, I actually did the exact opposite. I was down to 12, just 12. I know. And then I'm
So
like, oh, what do I do? But I had
Karen,
this really,
that was the big secret right there.
yes, yes,
So you
exactly.
yeah, so you took the pitas, you knew who they were. You took the ones
Yep,
who energized you, you knew who they were. You
right.
looked at the people who referred you the energizing clients, and you put all of your effort on that end of the table.
Exactly, exactly. But then
Amazing.
I found out what was really important to them, and what was really important to them was that they were in it for the long haul. So they weren't just in the business to make hay while the sun was shining and then jump out. These
Right.
were these were legacy people. This business was their legacy in their community, and they weren't going to have it any other way, and they did everything to the highest level because of that, right? So they're very dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happened was I had an idea of what was important to them, and so when I went out on interviews, I just picked up the phone and said, hey, this is who I am. I'd love to get to know you, see if there's the opportunity for us to have a continued conversation. I just
Mm-hmm.
need 15 minutes of your time. Well,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to say no to that? No one. So, so they did. So we had meetings, 15 minutes, and I asked one question. And they were all floored when I asked the question. And the question was, what is your business philosophy? Because that's what divided the pitas and the non-pitas. So once I asked that question, it's interesting. The pitas said, well, what kind of a question is that? What does that have to do with, anything that we're talking about? Well, blah, 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 and they just make something up. And the people whose business philosophy was the same as mine
Right.
were so happy to get that question. They were refreshed by the question. Like, oh my gosh, no one's ever asked me that question before. And right there, they said, you're different. You're different. I like you. And then the relationship started. So in those 2 years, I only added a handful more of business referral partners. So I was up to 17, 50% of my original total. That's all I needed to double my sales. And because I only had 17, guess what? I didn't have to work as hard. So I ended up reducing my work hours to under 40 hours a week. Before that, I was at about 55 hours a week. And yes, then I finally had the time to do the things that I was working so hard to be able to do.
I love it. That's amazing. So you zeroed in on the people that made you the happiest,
Yes,
got more of them. They weren't draining you anymore. They were energizing you.
yes.
And then you had even more free time to
Hmm.
give to the people that you love, to be present with the people that you love, and to take care of yourself further, which I know you are so spectacular at. So one
I'm a
thing,
work in progress. Thank you. I'm a work in progress.
well,
But
you
I
know,
think
we
we
all
all are.
Hey, I mean, we all are, by the way, and I know there's some amazing. I feel like we all are. I'm looking at my phone, just looking at the amazing people who have joined us. We've got Tracy Paul, and Marge. What I'd love to do here is shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
That fills your soul, that fills your heart, that energizes you, and gives you the time to practice self-care. So how do you feel, when you're on it, when you are engaging in self-care, how do you feel those efforts affect your performance in your business? If you have any tangible results, I'd love to hear about those, or just if really it's a feeling, it's just you're able to coach better, whatever that happens to be, please share.
Yeah, so it's everything. It affects me anyway, in everything that I do throughout the day. So I like to start the day off with exercise. So I have some classes that I take locally that are really incredible. And on the days that I can't, then I have workouts that I do here at home. But so what do they do for me? They just start me off. They clear my head. It's a great, for me, exercise is a great form of meditation because you can't think about anything other than what you're doing. So all the stuff that's constantly swirling around in your head, all the things that you need to do, the people you need to call, the things you want to work on, your projects, all of that, there's no space for them. They can't be
Mm-hmm.
present when you're working out.
This is a good
So
point,
then,
actually, Marge. Can I stop you
yeah.
really quick?
Oh, yeah,
This is a really
sure.
good point because I think that a lot of times, people have trouble with things like meditation to relax them. So what you're saying is that exercise, and this is something that I tell my clients all the time as well, can be meditative
Yeah,
because really just that practice of being mindful and engaging in what you're doing is incredibly, relaxing actually,
yeah,
and meditative, and just really helps to decrease stress in the body. And that's the way that exercise really should be done. So I love that you said
exactly. Yeah, and so it actually mimics what I experienced when I went to the south of France for that week. Because that week I was able to completely get away from my life, right? And by doing that, cutting out all of those stressors, I was finally able to be with myself, spend time with myself, and hear what's going on instead of being in that strong driver energy that I'm
that.
in all the time. So it was able to set that aside so I could hear and communicate with the different parts of myself that need to communicate with me as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I mean in terms of the meditative, or another benefit of that meditative state. So, and the other is that I do perform better in every way on the days that I get my exercise in. But it's not just
Mm-hmm.
exercise. So self care, I guess it falls into the self care category. So we haven't talked about this yet, but for over 20 years, I suffered with Crohn's disease, and I don't have it anymore, or at least I don't have the symptoms of it anymore. I don't think I have it anymore because it's been too long, and And that was one of the things that I decided just before going to Provence, actually, was that I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want to live my life in that compromised physical state anymore. And it wasn't just physical, it affected me mentally, it affected me emotionally.
Yeah,
And it was devastating. It was really devastating. It's a horrible, horrible disease.
it
And
is.
then,
Well, any gut.
yeah, I can't hear you.
Right? Go ahead. Sorry.
There you go. All right, now I can hear you. Your sound is going in and out on me for some reason.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm getting a stronger internet today, so that just goes to show you that I need it, huh? So what I was saying is that there's a very strong brain and gut connection. So when you have things happening in your digestive system and autoimmune diseases, it really does affect your ability to perform. So getting a handle on it and managing it is really critical when you're not, right?
Exactly. And I did that. So I decided that I didn't want it anymore, and I created this, vision of my life without it, which was pretty incredible. And I've been stepping into that, which is great. But so since 2010, I haven't had that. But that whole experience reconnected me with my body. Like, I was connected with my gut. Before that, I was connected with my gut in terms of, I guess the natural responses, to external stimuli, I guess is the best way to explain it. But I wasn't connected. I had been overriding the language that my body was speaking to me. So does that make sense to you? How
Oh my
can I say
God,
that differently, or how do you say it differently?
No, this completely makes sense to me. So basically, I mean, you couldn't really hear the signals that were coming from your body, right? Especially from your gut, your intuition, because a lot of your signaling was being blocked or clouded.
Exactly. And it was being blocked by, not only the disease itself, but by the medications that were then further silencing or not allowing that communication to take place.
Yeah.
So during that whole process of me discovering my purpose and my new way of being in life, I reconnected to my body and started to listen to what it was telling me. Not just listen, but to respond to what it was telling me. And that made a world of difference. So not only is it physical exercise, but it's my diet, it's my lifestyle habits, all of that.
Yeah. So bottom line, you're able to trust yourself more, right? You're able to listen to what you actually really want and trust yourself more. I mean, that's such a big deal for so many entrepreneurs. I mean, so many of us, for so many entrepreneurs, that signaling is very weak and they're not able to really listen to what their body is telling them. I mean, they're completely...
and I think it could be because they're so driven to get on to the next thing and the next, and so they don't think that they have time. Or I just know for myself, just sitting at my desk, doing a call like this or doing a session with a client or a group. And I know I can hear my body telling me, you need to take a break, Marge. And I'm like, yeah, but I just have to do this right now, and so the resistance is always there to respond right away. So I'm getting better at that.
Oh, I hear you. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And it is. It's a muscle. You do have to develop that sort of discipline muscle to push back away from the desk and do the things that you need to do to take care of others on it. But this is actually great. So what advice do you have for entrepreneurs in our audience who maybe still feel like they are too busy and can't make the time to take care of themselves? What would you say to them?
So what I would say to them is, if you want more time, then you need to honor yourself first. Put yourself first in your business. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't put yourself first, you're going to end up burning yourself out. So
Mm-hmm.
exercise and good eating habits, mental breaks recharge the batteries. And so you're going to think of the battery in your phone. So exercise is like going through your day with your phone plugged in all the time, fully
Mm-hmm.
charged.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas without exercise or, paying attention to what your body's saying, eating right, getting the right amount of sleep that your body needs, everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
And not doing that is like your battery on your phone operating on, uh, in low power mode, I would say. Yeah, that
Yes.
lower power mode on your phone.
You can make not only inside yourself, but with your clients when you actually
Mhm.
do take that time and create that discipline muscle to push away from the desk and do the things that you need to do to recharge. So that's
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're kind of coming up to the top of the hour and the ending of our interview. And so many people that have joined us. We've got Gina Dutta. Thank you for joining us. We've got Hannah Douglas. Thank you.
Cut out again.
For you and the amazing work that you are doing for others. Oh, could you not hear me?
I couldn't. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Gosh,
I can, I can hear you
I
now.
have this massive.
I love it. I can't. I can't hear you.
Hello, hello.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Oh, here I am. Okay, well, good thing
Yeah.
we're coming up to the end of this, huh? So, what my question is this: a lot of people that have joined us, I'm sure they're going to want to know more about you and where they can find information to possibly work with you. Can you give us a place that they can go to get more information about you and your
Oh,
amazing
certainly.
services?
Certainly. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So, in my 25 plus years in business development, I discovered that or realized that there are five essential beliefs for business success. And if there's a weakness in any one of these beliefs, then people continue to struggle. It's like being in a spin cycle, chasing your tail and not getting any traction. So what I've done is to put together the list of the five essential beliefs and, what they are, why they're important. So you can then check in with yourself to see how strong am I in this belief? Do I need some extra work here? Does this need to be fortified or am I okay? So if you'd like to know what those five beliefs are, feel free to go to www.margepiccini, PICCINI.com/free space gift. margepiccini.com/free space gift. And you can download the document there. I lost you again.
That is a fantastic.
Okay, there you are. No, I lost you again. Oh, thank you. Can you hear me okay? I can't hear you.